A lot of people don't know, my name is Byron Big Nass Williams, and I was Eminem's bodyguard for the first year of 1999, the first 2 albums. And pretty much my job was to keep him alive, whether it would be against people who wanted to see him dead, people who wanted to hurt him, or keep him from ODing himself from the drugs he took. So that was my job. And I was responsible for getting him from A to B, in the US, domestic, abroad. Great opportunity, good times, some rough times, dangerous times, but you know, that is my contribution to hip hop because a lot of people don't want to give me the credit. Had I not been there to tell him no at times, or shield him, or switch hotels in the middle of the night, or take a decoy car, you guys wouldn't have Eminem.
Yo, 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 yo.
Tell me how you feeling when your back be against the wall. Nobody the call, so you gotta stand tall. Tell me how you feeling when none of it seems true, and they leave it up to you. You making life look beautiful. Tell me how you feeling. Well, honestly, I've been making a killing. I've been trying to do my best, but expectations at the ceiling. I go to work, then come back home, back up in my feelings. Sometimes I hate being black. I wish my skin that I could feel it. Mama said black man.
Well, a lot of people don't know, I was a rapper at one time, rapper slash producer, artist, manager, and I still write, but not from the aspect of being a rapper. And, you know, and I hate that term rapper because it's an artist, it's an art form. Like hip hop is doing the same thing, but since then I've expanded to doing music, producing TV shows, actually award-winning TV producer at Real Screen back in 2019. I've evolved. I just don't stick in one realm, you know. In hip hop, it's so many forms, you know, and it's all about building a brand. As an author as well, I've written 6 books, one on the way, that'll be the 6th one. The book that has really built my brand is, as you see here, Shady Business. Been translated in 2 languages, hoping to get it done. That's in German and of course English, and a few other languages pending. I've done so good that they actually bootlegged the book about 5 years ago, where it went viral on the Breakfast Club. Actually, the way that the book Shady Business went viral for the 2nd time was when Suge Knight was on trial. They tried to use my book Shady Business as a, I guess, piece of evidence of saying that he had a history of taunting and terrorizing people in hip hop. But that had nothing to do with the crime that he committed. So it's almost like they used my book as a voluntary but involuntary character witness. And that was really unfair, because you're pitting an art form against a black man in 2 total different situations. And they basically tried to say that I said that he did this, that, and the other. And that's not what I said. I said what I said in the book, which I talked about the clashing of Interscope and Death Row, Eminem and Dre, me being Eminem's former personal bodyguard. Yeah, I have 6 books. Of course, Shady Business is the first. Mastering Life After Athletics is the 2nd. Womanizer, The Uncomfortable Truth About Men and Marriage. Husband Unleashed, which is an erotica. Umbilical, which is my autobiography. And then my upcoming book is called Born on the Shit List. It's my personal story about what it is to be a black man from the age of 5 up until now, dealing with systemic racism. It's kind of like the 48 Laws of Power for black people. In addition to that, just produced a movie, a documentary called Kids in Cages, which is on Tubi and Apple TV, which is actually doing pretty good. So you can go and watch it for free on Tubi and Apple TV. I feel pretty good about the 50th anniversary of hip hop, considering you got a lot of the OGs that's coming out with albums, Jay-Z, Nas, Killer Mike, got the Grammy, you know, big ups to Killer Mike. So it shows the evolution and the growth. So it's a good feeling, it's a good look, most definitely. Most definitely. The biggest thing that I'm loving right now about hip hop, with it being the 50th anniversary, is the evolution of hip hop. The OGs in the game, such as myself, everybody, we We got the gray beards right now. You know, we rock the buffs, you know, the Gucci. But here's the thing though, we started all of that. We started that, you know, so we can still wear that. And I hear a lot of people saying, you know, you're acting like a young cat. I am still young at heart. You know, I act my age, but swag is indefinite. You know, that lasts forever. So when you get these guys, as far as like Too Short, Killer Mike, congrats on the Grammy. Nas still dropping albums. I heard Rakim was coming with a new album. So the OGs, they deserve to keep dropping hits because I gotta be honest with you. Hip hop has never fallen off, but the people that have been representing in the art form kind of tainted the game for a minute with the mumble rap.
Would you say people more so of like the 2010s changed the game with the mumble rap and it just kind of like killed the whole culture of hip hop and it turned it to its own genre of music and people kind of just mixed the two and confused them?
I think what happens is with hip hop, anytime somebody does the art form of rap, it's easy to get confused about what we keep and what we throw away. And I hate to say it, it's kind of like having a good child versus a bad child. They're still family. You know, we claim it, but we're not proud of it. But it's still an art form. And I'm not dogging them, so they must be doing something like they're selling records. It's a crowd for everybody. Like, what's the young lady? Simply Red?
Sexy Red.
Sexy Red? Sexy Red, Simply Red. See, I'm telling my age because I don't listen to it. Sexy Red, that's funny. She got a crowd. She got a crowd. I mean, so you can't really knock that. It's about the money. To each his own, man. I don't listen to it. I have a cutoff. And some of the people I listen to, but I don't even know who their names are. I just like the music. And then some of them have pretty good words. So, you know, yeah. T Grizzly, you know, 42 Dub, you know, Snap Dog. I'm repping my city now, so that's Detroit. I like those guys, you know.
Okay. Do you think that the genre of hip hop is appreciated within our culture?
I think the genre of hip hop is appreciated in our culture, but what has changed is that artists can't make the money that they used to years ago. And that was changed by the powers to be. For those who don't know, streaming came about because of Napster and the new Napster, where people were basically uploading music for illegal downloads, which was robbing artists. I would say that disrespected the game because that in turn took money out of artists' pockets, and then now you got artists selling for 360 deals. I think the consumers and the artists respect the game, but the powers to look like us are the ones that are disrespecting the game because, truthfully, we no longer own it.
So who would you say owns it?
The Jews. Ain't no secret. But here's the thing, though, and I say that, and that's not anti-Semitic, and if you feel that way, fuck you, because this is how I feel like this. Hollywood and the music industry was set up by the Jewish community for them to build something for them. And we, in turn, ran to them to try to become part of their commerce. And we ended up being consumed in their commerce, if you understand what I'm saying. That's not their fault. But when you had guys like Master P that came along and did 85%, but he kept 85% of the money and he gave Priority Records 15%, which they didn't want to do, and that was the only deal done to this day. That began the independent game where the Jews weren't affecting the music industry. And you have guys like Ice Cube and music, which have branched out from hip hop to film, where they're calling their own shots. They're putting their own money up. So it's easy to blame a certain people, which Kanye called the red media. We can blame them all day, but until we pull our resources together and do our own thing like we're doing here right now, you shouldn't be complaining. You know, either you're gonna keep getting taken or you're gonna keep going to the bank. You gotta decide.
What do you think would be the best way for artists to be able to curate their own, to their own platforms, or just being able to get their music out there without the labels and without the major distribution services?
Put it in your first contract. Do your first contract is you should be able to do this art form. You should be able to produce movies or do clothing under your own brand without the majors taking majority of, because now under these 360 deals, they're getting a piece of everything. But if I was a new incoming artist and I got signed to a major deal, I would do one deal at a time. One deal at a time. Or even better, do a single deal. Just drop a single. Keep dropping singles and do a deal for each single. That way, if you decided to go off and do an album, they don't have anything to do with them. But you got to negotiate that in your option. Everything is negotiable. Everything. And here's the biggest thing that every artist, writer, designer, anytime you're pitching to any kind of major brand or label, I had to do this myself with WeTV. I pitched for a pilot. You pitch your demo. They sign you. One of the things that you need to put in every clause is you have the right for the reversionary rights to revert back to you in the event they don't put it out, or they call putting on the shelf. Now, usually what happens with that, they'll say, well, if that happens, we gave you a $100,000 deal, you'll have to pay that $100,000 signing bonus back to retain your rights. But at least you have that option, because there's a lot of artists that got great hits that's sitting on the shelf that'll never be released until possibly when they die. And they will never see the light of the money, or their family will either.
So I know we had a conversation not too long ago. We was talking about how these artists, when they pass away, all their stuff is being pushed and marketed more than when they were alive. Now, like you just said, the 360 deal, for people who don't know what the 360 deal, would you be able to explain that to them? Because you said they would take pretty much everything of what you got. Like, and could you make an example? Could you give some examples?
Now, first, what I understand is, well, back in the day, let me compare the two. You had publishing, you had royalties. People say, well, you were Bodyguard, how did you know this? Well, like I said, I was an artist and I did artist management. I should have been an entertainer attorney. So you have publishing, royalties, then you have your stuff with your brand. The label was only entitled to record sales to recoup, and some publishing if they had to clear samples or they had in-house producers. Now with the 360 deals, it's your streams, if they're still selling CDs or vinyl. In some places they do. Now they get your merch. Back in the day, they didn't get a piece of your merch. Now they get your merch. And from what I understand, in some deals, they get some of your shows. But see, the OGs, that's how the OGs in the game, like 50 just finished the world tour. He made an amazing amount of millions just off a classic catalog. When you got a classic catalog, you don't need to come up with new stuff. Just do hits out the gate and you can eat forever.
Okay, so people like 50, Dr. Dre, I don't mean to keep bringing these names up, Snoop, but those are people who seem to have won and beat every possible outcome of the distribution deals. And even to the point where they have battled with big platforms such as magazine companies and YouTube channels and even sometimes a TV network. Mm-hmm. How do you think that is? And why do you think they have as much power as they do in the industries that they have?
Winning recipe, man. Long as you making money, people want to keep putting money in you. They don't lose. 50 don't lose. Snoop don't lose. Dre don't lose. M definitely don't lose. And at the end of the day, a lot of people want to make it about black, white, and Jews. In some aspects it is. But at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is the money. And if you're making money, that means the people at top are making money. It's people that don't even know you that are making money. And they're the driving force behind you. So a lot of times, these artists are forced to come up with a brand, or forced to go back out on the road because they owe the label some money, or the label is struggling, or somebody's going through a divorce as an artist, or you never know. So this product is being forced out of consumption, and then this product is being created out of just creativity. But as long as you win it, you're gonna keep getting money, man. They're gonna always, hey, look, and people come to you. When I was on the road, we never had to pay for anything. Stuff from Versace, Fat Farm. Some of these brands you guys probably don't know this. Fat Farm, Gucci. Oh, man, you name it. I mean, everything. Nike, Adidas, Maurice Malone jeans. And this is old school, but he was Echo. Now, I know you guys heard Echo. I was working with Echo when he first started dropping his clothing brand. He's a billionaire now. So long as you're winning, people are going to keep giving you product to wear. It got so much where anytime there was a concert or performance, or anytime there's going to be cameras around, they sent us stuff. They already knew my clothing size. They knew everybody's clothing size. And they wanted you to wear it. And the more you wore it, the more clothes they sent. We would have so many clothes and fits, man, that we would have to ship all that stuff home. You couldn't take it on the airplane. It'd be too much.
That's crazy. You think hip hop money is powerful enough to take over every industry? Or do you think has it already taken over every industry?
You mean as far as the entertainment? Or just in general?
In general.
No. Only thing stronger than hip hop money is oil.
Okay.
Only thing stronger than hip hop money is oil. And banking systems. Big banks. So I would say I would put oil over the banking system. And really, the banking system is being ran off of oil. I would say hip hop is probably number 3. Hip hop generates more money than food.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because, and I'm not talking about just music, I'm talking about clothes, fashion, music, jewelry, sports. Even the NFL and NBA, they're doing everything based off the clothes of what these entertainers wear. The baggy shorts, hip hop, Jordan, all those guys, the 5'5", all that's hip hop influence. So yeah, hip hop is right up there with oil.
I was watching a Drink Champs interview between Benzino and all the classic guys. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that.
Oh yeah, I seen it. And Benzino was talking about this issue right here. Came out 21 years ago. And yours truly was in this magazine. And I understand what Benzino was trying to say and do. What he was talking about, gentrifying hip hop. Basically, the article that Benzino wrote in this magazine 21 years ago was called The Last Line of Defense. And basically everything that he said on Drink Champs, he said in that article, but without the drinks. It was a good episode, Drink Champs. It was good. Love to be on the show. I think the biggest thing, Benzino doesn't get enough credit, man, for his contribution to hip hop. Just in this magazine right here, he was marketing and rating everybody from Ja Rule, Mobb Deep, 50 Cent. If you guys get a chance, go back and get this issue, and you'll see how Benzino really is probably one of the biggest pioneers of hip hop. Really, because if the Source magazine wasn't out and guys wasn't getting 4 and 5 and 3.5 mics, we wouldn't have having these guys, and hip hop wouldn't have went as long as it did. That's why he was so emotional, because it's like, this used to be ours. We don't have it anymore. And we giving this shit away. And much as we giving it away, we disrespecting each other. It's one thing to have a battle rap, but when you have a battle rap, don't put kids in the battle rap, man. You don't take them kind of shots. Those kind of shots is equivalent to somebody doing a drive-by in the hood and shooting up the house with a child in it. You don't do that. You just don't do that. But there's no more honor anymore.
We'll see.
That issue of the Source magazine came out in 2003. And I kind of ended up in the magazine on a whim. I was at home one day and I got a call. And my man Divine Culture called me. He was like, hey man, there's some niggas here from New York going around the city asking about Big Nas, man. He said they rolled up on the crew. We told him, yo, man, you can't be doing that shit up in here. Divine Culture from New York too. So he was one of the guys that was down with my label. And he told me, he said, what y'all want with it? And so we were hot, was it Hot 97? I think it was Hot 97, Angie Martinez and her crew. So he called me on the phone, and I said, yeah, man, go ahead and give him my number, man. And Angie Martinez called me. She was like, yo, what's up, Big Nas? We're in your city, man. We trying to do an interview. I said, y'all just gonna pop up like that? I said, that's not how we do it. And you can't be rolling around the city asking about people. I said, that's a quick way to get shot. She said, nah, man, it ain't nothing like that. I said, okay. I said, yeah, we can do the interview, but you're gonna have to reach out to my entertainment attorney. She said, man, it's just an interview. I said, for who? She said, Source Magazine. I said, oh yeah, y'all need to run that paper. So I gave her my entertainment attorney's number. They chopped it up. They figured out, the pay rate. And we met at Starbucks and did like a 3-hour interview at Starbucks in Southfield on Telegraph. And it went over really good. She did a real good story and gave me a chance to kind of tell my side. And basically, as you see, this is the article right here. And it covered a lot. I thought I was going to get a bigger picture, but people way down at the bottom, But they paid well, so I ain't tripping. Other than that, that's the cover. So y'all got to go online and order that issue. But other than that, it was real cool. She just wanted to know what it was like working with him, and then also too if I thought he was a racist. And my direct quote was, nobody has an idea how much race a person carries in their heart. You can't measure racism based off of what you see. Yes, of course, he dropped the tapes with the racist profanity on it, calling people niggas and moon crickets and porch monkeys and all that stuff. And that was before he got signed. But you did it. He did it, But the thing is, black people are so forgiving, as we always are. Unfortunately, they forgave him. He kept making good music, and it went on. But I'm not making excuses for him. He was young. We all done some stuff, man. Only difference between him and other people, somebody recorded it and sent it into the magazine or sold it to the magazine.
When they reached out to you, did you kind of know it was already about him, or was it just like when they reached out to you? Because you said they was going around looking for big names. Usually
Yeah.
they look for Eminem if
So-
that was the case.
So let me tell you the mindset that I was in at that time. And I was what? I was about 31, 32 years old. I was very angry at that time because, you know, I caught a case dealing with Eminem. I caught a case. I had lost my security license. I had lost my gun permits, and I was just getting that stuff back. And when you write a book about somebody, not that people are gangster, but you don't know how much money people are willing to pay to do something to you. So there were certain things that I had to do to protect myself, and things are still in place. I ain't the same kid no more, and I'm far, far, far from a bodyguard. Trust me on this. But I had to be on point. I had to have people come with me, you know, do surveillance, have backup, because you don't know. You don't know if, you know, if things are going to be a setup or not. So I had to move like that for probably about the first 5-6 years, you know, after the book dropped. I recall one time at the gas station during that same time. I was about 32 years old, and I'm at the gas pump. It's a marathon. And I'm in Warren, the hometown of M, and I'm putting gas in my truck. And it's a white guy. He got his hat to the back, and he looks across while he's pumping gas. He said, "Hey, man, you the motherfucker that wrote the book about M?" I said, "Yeah, man, I'm him. What's up?" He said, "Man, I got something for you, man." He went to reach in his car. By the time he turned around, I had the 40 cal in his face. He said, "Oh, shit, man. I just wanted you to sign my book." I said, "Well, shit, you should have said that, man. Who you want me to make this out to, man?" I said, "Hey, man, in the future, just say, 'Hey, man, I enjoyed your book.'" I said, "Yeah, that's not a good look. I thought you was one of them stands, man." I said, "You almost got shot." So, you know, I've had incidents like that where people knew who I was, so, you know, and it was cool. But also, too, at times it was kind of nerve-wracking. You know, you had to move different. But nothing ever came about it. Of course, I got threats, but it was more so internet threats. You know, I had to tell a couple of people, be careful how you talk to me because your IP address could turn into your home address. And that was before everybody was saying pull up. This book right here, Shady Business, I own the sole rights to it. I'm an independent just like you, man. We need to talk. I reached out to 50, you know, because he's doing the TV show 8 Mile, no response. Here's the thing. I've reached out to Eminem Paul. I'm a businessman. I don't hold grudges. We went through what we went through. And for those who haven't read the book, you can go and get that on Amazon.com. Get this one right here. That's the new and updated version. That book was moving so good that they tried to shut it down on several occasions. Distributed worldwide. I reached out to Paul and M about 5 years ago. I had a billionaire movie producer online to do the movie, and all we had to do was get M on board. They totally shut it down. Here's the thing, according to entertainment law, I don't need permission to shoot the movie or the miniseries on Shady Business, because it's based on my experience of what I see on the road while working with Eminem. It's not a concert book. It's a behind the scenes book of things that happen and the people that it takes to build up an artist like Eminem. You know, it's a book. That's how I feel about it. It's water under the bridge. It's a book. And everything that I wrote in that book, I told bad stuff about me. One of the things my father told me, he said, "Hey, man, if you're gonna write this book, you gotta tell the good about him, the bad about you, and the good and the bad. You gotta keep it even." So, you know, he said, "Don't try to bury him and you'll end up burying yourself." So I told a firm and fair quality story of what it was like behind the scenes to help a multi-platinum artist go platinum. as a human being, as a father, as an artist, as a person, as a husband, and I also told about the things that went on with me on the road. You know, some stuff I'm not proud of. So, you know, it's a firm and fair, balanced book, man. Can't wait for it to become a mini-series, though. All I'm trying to do is 6 episodes, Benzino, or 50. Get this big war started. Let me say this, though, too. That book came out in 2000. I own 1999. And that's the first year of Eminem's reign to glory. So 50, holler at me. I ain't greedy. Licensing deal. My attorney is Stephanie Hammonds. Holler at her. Or Benzino. Same thing. Stephanie Hammonds. She ain't hard to find. Entertainment lawyer. She's big time. Just Google her. But hey, look, it's all love. We all getting older. Let's get this money, man. Every story has to be told. Let's all tell it while we're alive and breathing. And just tell it the way it happened. And not fabricate anything. I don't do lies. I'm all facts. Either way it goes, that story gonna be told. But if you try to tell 1999 without me, it's not gonna be good. It's copyright infringement.
Yo, 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 yo.
Tell me how you feeling when your back be against the wall. Nobody hate the call, so you gotta stand tall. Tell me how you feeling when none of it seems true, and they leave it up to you. You make it like
Hey,
a
what's up? This
beautiful.
your man, Byron Big Ass Williams, Relationship Bodyguard. Y'all can check me out on all platforms. Check me out on YouTube, Relationship Bodyguard, Facebook, Relationship Bodyguard. You can get all my books on Amazon, Shady Business, Umbilical, you name it. I got 6 books total, Amazon.com, or you can go to my website, trbyronwilliams.wtf. And last but not least, check out my documentary on Tubi, Kids in Cages. Again, that's Kids in Cages on Tubi. Thanks for your support. Like, share, and post. Peace. Big Proof. Rest in peace. Motor City Wide Squad. Wide Squad. Yes, sir. Some more Wide Squad. This is the soundtrack, Shady Business. Y'all don't know about that. That was the diss song that came with a video. Actually kind of dope. Shady Business.